Welcome to Thinking Outside the Soil with your host, Shani Alfalfaseed, where we get to talk story and touch on topics about hydroponics and the farmers who grow the crops and creatures we need to eat. Good morning, and happy Aloha Friday from Blooming Health Farms. And thank you for being with me on this beautiful morning. I went over to our Site B this morning to do my chicken chores, and unfortunately I found feathers everywhere in the yard and discovered about 10% of our flock had got foxed. So it's a bit of a somber morning, digging some holes, doing what I had to do to get rid of those, what was left over. There were some guts and feathers and birds pieces, and lets me understand a bit more of how to better manage a remote site while working with a new couple who have very little experience doing chicken farming. So it gives us the opportunity to really learn, though it's a huge setback when you lose 10% of your flock in one big hit. So got a lot of learning to do, and for me that's actually the biggest predation that we've ever experienced. I'm pretty sure it was a fox. There were guts and pieces of chickens all over the place, and so from my experience, at least out there, that's what you typically see. And the ground was so hard that I didn't see footprints or could see any kind of digging. So my initial assessment is that the birds got preyed upon just before they got locked up in the coop, and the coop was likely just shut down when it was too dark to do a good investigation. And I'm sure many of you out there, I have as well, have just cooped up the birds without looking around or opened the coop in the morning. So there are always those obstacles and barriers to being a chicken farmer. We have procured an automatic door to help us do a bit better job of cooping the chickens up at night. So we are anxious to see how successful that will be. We purchased a door from Omelette. So it's one of those doors that slides horizontally rather than vertically. The vertical ones I have seen can act a bit like a guillotine, and I'd rather have those chickens have the best chance, and the only thing that could get them are predators like foxes or coyotes or raccoons or stuff like that. So this past few weeks, as Site B has been starting up, we've had to overcome some of these obstacles. That one big barrier is the cooping up and uncooping in the mornings. Not having a proper setup for opening and closing that door, we have been relying on going over there at sunrise and then shutting it up at sunset and teaching them all to go inside. And for the most part, it's been extremely successful, not relying on the automatic technology to just shut the coop and open the coop. Because the birds got put in a new location, they still needed to understand where their home was. They still needed to, get that homing instinct inside of themselves. So I know at the end of the day, some of the setbacks that we are encountering are going to be beneficial in the long run. The things that we've had to do are making us so much better chicken farmers, and you can never know what you don't know. And we didn't know when starting up a new farm for this couple some of those barriers or those challenges that would ultimately lead to the consequences that happen to all of us chicken keepers when we don't do what we need to do to take care of our girls. And it was a bit of a disappointment this morning to see all of those out there, but I had to quickly remind myself that it's part of the learning journey when you're trying to do something new. So I will take what we have seen so far and keep on moving forward, we like to say here that you've got to learn from your mistakes. You've got to fail forward. So we are going to just do what we've got to do. We've got some more young pullets getting ready to get to that layer age. So we will get those birds integrated into that flock, possibly a little sooner than expected, and hopefully see our egg production pick back up as that happens, and then keep moving forward on protecting those girls from any of those other traumatic experiences, because it was definitely traumatic. When I went in there this morning, you could see the chickens cowering in the coop near the roost, near the nest boxes, and that was my first aha, like, ooh, you chickens are afraid of something. And then as I walked the yard, I got to see what I saw. And so, yeah, the life of being a chicken farmer, and you never know where it can go. I never knew where it would go when we started up a hydroponic farm growing fish for plants, and fell in love with chickens and saw how much success we were having with chickens and hydroponics. So we're going to keep on keeping on being aquaponic chicken farmers. And I urge you to keep on keeping on with whatever it is that you are doing for yourself. That is all I have for us today on this beautiful Aloha Friday. If you want to know more about how hydroponic fodder is helping farmers save water, improve livestock quality, and helping us all become better stewards, head on over to thinkingoutsidethesoil.com to get yourself a copy of my book so you don't miss out on becoming part of this next agricultural revolution. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Thinking Outside the Soil. Join us again. Take care and have a lovely day. Hey, before you go, check out the links below, and if you'd be so kind as to leave a rating and review and follow the show. For those with feathered friends, don't forget to get yourself some of our Blooming Health Farms Chicken Blend Sprouting Mix. This supplemental mix has been shown to give you some of the best eggs with the yummiest yolks. You'll have happy, healthy hens that abandon the feeder and give you eggs with high levels of vitamin A and omega fatty acids. So don't forget to get yourself some Blooming Health Farms Chicken Blend Sprouting Mix.